everybody, thank you so much for stopping back by the channel. If you're new, I'm so glad that you are here. Please drop your state below or the country that you're visiting from and let me know where you're tuning in from so I can say hello. And if you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back again. Today, y'all, is an exciting day. Like I always say, today I am trying something that I haven't done in about a couple of years, but we are going to restart and do it all over again. Today, I'm talking about composting. Now let me take you back. So I bought a tumbler composter. I want to say it was probably 3 years ago. And that was my first foray into composting. And so the tumbler composter is behind my house, and I religiously did it like that one season. Then, I don't know, life happened, and it was just, I don't know, I didn't keep up with it. Just got busy. So then I've been using a kitchen composter that I've showed you guys before as well. But now, y'all, we're going to go back to composting the traditional way. And I have a new tool to help me do just that. Now, if you've been here before, you know I love things that's going to make it efficient, that's going to make it organized, and all of that. So I cannot wait to show you my new compost bin from Vego Garden. Let's take a look and let's unbox. Okay, this is the latest compost bin from Vego Garden. It is called the Modern Metal Compost Bin. And so one of the things that really caught my eye when they first sent it to me and reached out is the way that it's so aesthetically pleasing, as aesthetic as you can be for a compost bin. So it comes in this like urban charcoal gray color. So I think for a compost bin, it's gonna look as nice as it possibly can. The other thing is it's much bigger than the one that I originally bought 2 or 3 years ago. So I like that part. The other thing is that because it is metal and it's going to be durable, then it takes away the ability for it to rot. So like when you build a wood compost bin, you have to worry about the weather and it rotting and things like that. And so with this, I won't have to do that. The other thing that it has is that it has kind of like smart ventilation built in. So it has a built-in vent, and it also has some airflow columns that you'll be able to see as we put it together. That's going to keep the oxygen moving. And you want the oxygen moving because that's what helps to break down your food quicker. And then it also helps it to do it without a huge smell. And so also when it comes to smell, it has a lid on it that you're going to be able to see as well once we get it put together. And so the lid is what they call a weather ready lid. So it has a sloped top. So the water is going to kind of slope and go down, and it's not going to necessarily get in the compost bin. And then the lid also has springs on it. So it's going to open up very, very easily. One other compost bin that I forgot to mention is that also probably about a year or so ago, probably 2 years, I bought another compost bin. So you can see, yeah, I've been trying this thing. But that's okay. You can always try again. So I bought another compost bin from Home Depot that was rather large. But here was the disadvantage of that one. You had to tumble it again. And so the one behind my house that I originally bought was as a tumbler, easy to tumble, very good. It just doesn't hold a lot. So then I tried this one that I got from Home Depot, and it, I could not tumble it. I could not turn it over. Like you had to turn it like ever so often. It was too heavy to turn. So my husband had to turn it, and it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. So I still have that one. And maybe, I wonder if I can use that for like a vermicomposting bin. I want to try vermicomposting too. So if you don't know, and again, I only know this much, vermicomposting is when you actually use worms in the compost bin versus what we're using this compost bin today is more of a traditional, I think they call it hot composting or whatever. So when it comes to composting, here's a couple of reasons why I'm interested in doing it again. One, because as my farm continues to grow, and even just the size that it is, if it doesn't grow anymore, I spend a lot of money on compost, obviously to fill all these beds, to put in holes and things like that. So the more that I can make on my own, that's going to reduce the cost that I have to pay out of pocket. Second, it gives a nice way to close the food cycle. So when you have scraps in your kitchen, you can just put it in your compost bin versus put it in the trash. You can use those food scraps to make good soil, and that's going to just help your garden thrive. If you're not using compost in your garden, you absolutely should. So every season when I change my beds over, like from summer to fall, or winter, to summer again, I always amend my bed. So I amend my beds at least a minimum twice a year. And whenever I do that, and when I'm planting new crops, I always add in a new layer of compost. That's going to help your plants thrive, and all of that. So if I can make my own compost, then that's going to be even better. The other thing about like down here is I'm pulling out plants that's no longer good, or that may be going to seed, or maybe something that's bad, not disease, but like maybe it has gone bad, then I can just immediately take it from here and put it in the composter out here versus having to take it up to my house. So I think with my setup, it makes sense for me to have a compost bin, behind my house. I just need to use it. But it also makes sense for me to have my main compost in here because this is where the majority of the food and where the garden is. So let's go out here and let's see. My husband has put it together, and we're going to put it in the exact same space that we had the other one before. And I'll also show you what the other one looked like. So here is the compost bin that we had before. So you can see it's a pretty large size and works to get a lot of compost. And I did use it to get a lot of compost. And it has like just an opening here. So I like the fact that water and trash couldn't get in it. Rain couldn't get in it. So it was really, really good. I got this at Home Depot. And I want to say I spent maybe $120 or something like that. Not very much. And you can see that you have to roll it. And I can't do a full revolution. But it's rolling now because it's light and there's not anything in here. I think we took everything out of here. But it was sitting right over here on the side of the tunnel. And that's where the new one's going to go. So look, this still is usable. I need to find a new place to put it. I don't know that I'll use it right away, but again, if somebody's local in my area and you want to buy it, then hit me up and let me know. You can certainly come take it off my hands if you want to, but otherwise I'll just keep it and we'll find a use for it or something like that. But let me show you where the new one's gonna go. So you can see, because wherever that big thing is, and everywhere this one is, it's going to kill the grass because it's sitting on top of the grass. But you can see where that open spot is. So that's where this one is going to go. So like I said, getting back into composting, it's been, again, a good 2 years since I've done it. And it's one of those things that in my mind, I know it is a priority that I need to do. And it has been top of mind. It just not has been top of action. And so it's like that sometimes. So I'm trying to recommit to doing it because it's something that I know that I need to do. And it's going to be, good for my plants, and it's going to be cheaper on my wallet and all that stuff. So my husband is putting it together. And so while he's doing that, let me show you something else that we were able to accomplish also. Okay, y'all, so this is a project that's been on the list for like 3 years. So when I tell you it's never too late to just get stuff done, it's never too late. So what we're doing here, or what my husband is doing, I should say, is we're finally setting up our rain barrel. So we have a 50-gallon rain barrel that we bought literally, y'all, 3 or 4 years ago. No over exaggeration. And it has been sitting in our garage. It's been sitting outside. But we have never set it up. Just life and other things took priority. So my husband we even had the stuff to put it together. Not at the time that we bought the rain barrel, but eventually we got the stuff to put it together. That's been sitting down in the greenhouse. So my husband finally decided on this day he was going to get it done. So he has some type of gutter system connection, contraption that he is putting on the back of the wood bin that he put together. If you did not see how my husband put together this wood bin, I'll pop the video up at the top. But he is putting that, and so the rain barrel will go up under this white gutter piece, and so the rain will run off of the bin, and then it'll be able to collect into the rain barrel. Now, when we bought this rain barrel, it was literally 3 to 4 years ago, and we got a 50-gallon. Again, we had literally not moved out, hadn't been out here that long, so we didn't know what we were doing, but we were able to get it. And so now, of course, I wish I had a huge one that was way more like 1,000-gallon, but this is what we have, and this is what we're setting up. So we went and got the rain barrel, and now he's getting ready to connect it to the gutter system. Okay, guys, it's several days later. But to follow up on what you just saw with the rain barrel, let me just say this. It is never too late to still get yourself in gear and to do a project that's been on your to-do list forever. That is living proof. I went back to see when we actually bought that, and we bought it, I think, in November 2021. Y'all, that rain barrel, we have had it for 3.5 years. It's still good. It's never been used. We did use it one time when we had the big snowstorm or winter storm a couple of years ago. It obviously had stuff in it, just from that we were able to put the snow in it and let it melt or whatever, but it has not been used for its purpose. But we got it done this weekend. And so you may have stuff around your house, around your yard that you're like, I ain't never did anything with that. But if you still got it, you can still go do it. I always say, as long as you're breathing, you can always make a different choice. And that's in life, that's in the garden, that's at home. And so let this be a reminder to you that it's okay if you have stuff that you bought and you intended to use and you haven't used it. Now, one thing about me, if I buy it, I'm going to end up using it. And I think back to things that I bought 2 or 3 years ago, that I'm glad that I got it. Y'all, what's wrong with y'all's internet, dog? Lexi has been on 10, let me tell you. Lexi, come here. Okay. Broke my train of thought. If I buy it, I'm going to use it. There are things that I bought 2 or 3 years ago that I'm glad that I did. Like, for example, my 9-tray dehydrator, the Excalibur. I bought that. Now, I do use it. I don't use it nearly as much as I used to because I have a freeze dryer now. But I still use it, and I have it in case I need it. But when I got it, I think it was like $175. And now they might be like $250, $300. Just because as things go on in inflation, as well as people get into homesteading and sustainability, the prices of those things go up. So if you have it, and you haven't used it, it's okay. I give you permission. Go ahead and put it back on your list. Okay. So now let's go back to the composter. My husband finally got it together, so I cannot wait to show you what it's looking like. And let's see if we can fill her up for the first time. Okay, so the composter is together. The only thing that he has left to do is to level it so it's sitting level on the ground. And so we'll have to do that. Okay, so we have it all put together. So my husband's gonna kind of walk through how it was putting together and I got you some shots so that you can see the inside as well.
So putting this together was really, really simple. I must say Vego Garden gave the best set of instructions I have seen in a long time in putting anything together. Like, they had the right amount of screws, everything. The instructions were very, very clear and easy to follow. And so I think, I took breaks in putting this together because we had other things going on, but I probably could have put this together in about 30 minutes, to be real honest. And so it's real solid metal material. It put together, the holes all lined up. It was very easy to put together. And so it sits right on the ground. And so you put whatever you're going to put inside that's going to turn to compost right inside. It's got some poles inside with holes in it for air to flow through it and help break it down a little bit faster. So the only thing I can really say is solid construction. It can sit out in the elements and there will be no problem. It has this door on the bottom is where you get the compost from. It has clips in it, so not even an animal could get inside and eat scraps or things like that. You might see these little clips down here at the bottom. So the only thing left to do is to level it, and it'll be ready to use. But like I said, 30 minutes. The instructions were phenomenal, clear, simple, and easy to follow. It really would have took 30 minutes if I had stayed with it and putting it together. So very pleased with it. They even got a little sticker on it, so you'll know who you got it from. That's all I really could say about it, but it's a solid piece of equipment, easy to put together.
Okay, guys, I'm so excited. I love it. I love the way it looks, because y'all know I'm into aesthetics, right? I'm into aesthetics. And so for a compost bin, it's going to look as classy as it's going to look with a compost bin. But we're going to go ahead and fill her up. Not fill her up because we don't have that much stuff. But we're going to go ahead and put some stuff in it to get it started. At the time of this video, we're actually on our way out of town in just a couple of hours. And so I want to put some stuff in it so that we can show you. And then, of course, we'll be checking on it when we come back and as the rest of the summer, fall, and all that stuff goes on. Now, my husband said he was able to put it together, if he had time, in 30 minutes. Vego Garden, on their materials, they said it takes like 45 minutes. So again, 30 to 45 minutes, you're in there just like that. Now, I'll tell you, it is heavy. Now, I didn't carry it, but I'm just telling you what my husband said. It was extremely heavy. The box was, right, baby?
Yeah, it had a little weight on it.
Yeah, so it had a little weight on it because it's all metal. But let's go ahead and put some stuff in it, and then I'm gonna walk you through. If you've never composted before, I'm gonna give you a quick, like, flash drive by, real quick lesson on composting. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you what I've done before and what I've read. So let's get to it. Okay, so when it comes to composting, there's 3 things that you need to know. You need browns, you need greens, and you need moisture. So when it comes to browns, that's gonna provide your carbon, if I'm not mistaken. And the browns can be pine shavings, it could be wood chips, it could be leaves, it could be cardboard. So anything, obviously not anything that's brown, but you get the gist. And then you need greens. The greens are your food scraps, and that's where your nitrogen is going to come from. And so your food scraps, you can put, again, when it comes to food scraps, I usually use everything except things like onions, garlic, and things like that. But tomatoes, plants. Now, I don't put any plants in here that have had disease or anything like that, but like plants that have gone bad or leaves, I can put all of that stuff in there. Then the third thing is that you need moisture. And so you want to make sure that you wet your compost. It needs to be the consistency, like not sloppy wet, but like if you would wring out a moist sponge, it needs to be like that type of consistency for moisture. And then after those 3 things, you just need air, and heat works best in terms of it's going to compost faster in the summer than it is in the winter. Now, this has built-in airflow, so I'm going to be curious to see, how this works and stuff, because for this, you don't have to turn it. Now, with other compost piles, you need to turn it, maneuver it, and all of that, so that it's getting the airflow it needs, and also that it's kind of getting the airflow on all the sides. This has airflow vents in it, so we're going to see how this works. So we have just some food scraps, and then the other thing that you want to think about is that your ratio needs to be correct. So when it comes to browns and greens, you want to aim for a 3-to-1 ratio, browns to greens. So you're going to have more browns than you are greens, which are your food scraps. Again, it's not anything that you're going to measure. Again, just kind of know that as you're doing your composting. So again, it's been a couple of years since I've done this, but let's try it and see what we got. So we're going to put in some food scraps. Let's go ahead and get the cardboard and the shavings. We're going to put in the browns. And so I'm going to put in more browns than I have food scraps. And then we're going to water it just a little bit. Now this, again, has a spring-loaded lid. So you can see it comes up. It has like a gas spring in it, and then it's gonna it'll automatically, not automatically, but you can push it down and it's gonna come down. So it's kind of easy to open, but the lid is gonna be able to keep the moisture out in terms of rain, and it's gonna be able to keep pests out. Now, because we don't have it level, the lid may not be closing all the way, but that's just because we don't have it level on the front. Once we level it out, it should be no problem. So we'll go ahead and put some cardboard in here, and this is actually this is cardboard that does not have, anything on it in terms of print and things like that. So we'll stick that in there. Let's see. Yeah, so he's just gonna tear it, lay it on there, and that'll also like be a barrier in terms of like just putting stuff on the ground. So we can put some on the other side as well. Okay, and then we got the pine shavings. I got like an old bag of just some pine shavings we had at the house. We'll put in there. I do have wood chips on the property. Again, we would need to like get something like a wheelbarrow and all that stuff to put it in. So we will add more to it when we get back. But because we're on our way out of town, don't have the time to kind of get all that stuff and put it in here. So we're just going to get started with what we have. So we can just pour those in. You can just pour these in. And then all of this is going to break down. And then we have some food scraps that we're going to put in here as well. All right, so we got the food scraps in there. We got the pine shavings, and we got the cardboard. So I think it's gross for me to show you what it looks like on the inside, but I'm going to show you because I know somebody's going to say, well, let's see what it looks like on the inside. So let me show you. Okay, guys, so you can see the inside. So we got the pine shavings, we got the cardboard, and then we have just some tomato food scraps. I'm going to pull some other stuff that we have in the greenhouse that are some scraps, and then we'll add that to it, and then we will just close the lid. As you can see, it's kind of spring loaded, and then we'll be done just like that. Okay, guys, I added more stuff, and now I'm just giving it some moisture. So I cannot wait to see how it's broken down some when I come back. Now, obviously it won't break down that fast, but we'll be watching it over time, and then obviously we'll have more stuff to add to it over time. So if you're in the market for a compost bin and you want something that's, you know, pretty decent size, that's large, and that looks good and that's durable and something that you don't have to build, and I would certainly say check this out. There's a link in my description for Vego Garden. You can get $10 off your order. So make sure that you check the link in the description box below. And then also let me know if you guys are composting, if you've never tried it before, but you want to try it. The other thing that I want to try is vermicomposting, and that's when you have the addition of worms and stuff. I have never done that before, but it is on my list to try. But I'm excited to get back into composting again because I know it is going to be good for my plants, it's going to be good for my wallet, and it's just good overall. And it kind of just closes the loop of the food system, right? So whatever you don't use, it does not have to be waste. The waste can turn into actually what they call liquid gold, which is compost. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today on this video. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe. Remember, y'all, this is all a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time, friend.